One of the most despicable atrocities that is taking place, I'm very optimistic.
Yes, sir.
What is taking place across the world is undeniable. 100,000 in South Africa in Johannesburg, 100,000 in London just yesterday. In France, in Paris, they actually trumped the French government attempt to silence them and went out in the street, disrupted the railroad. That's what takes place in Canada. Across many parts of the Muslim world and the Arab world has been silent. And that's something we need to speak about. But in the Philippines, in India, in many parts of the world, people are rising up because they see the dispossession of the Palestinians speak to their own dispossession. Their Palestinian state of powerlessness is reflective of their own powerlessness. And therefore they're rising up to say that a new day is needed, a new world is needed, and it's not going to come from 10 Downing Street. It's not going to come from the White House. It's not going to come from the Champs-Élysées. It's going to come from all of us coming together and changing, ending military-industrial complex, ending corporate greed and complete dispossession of the people, ending the bank stranglehold on all of us that prevents us from being courageous in making a different world possible. That's us. We need to make it possible, and don't allow them to silence you. Don't allow him to silence you. Don't allow them to silence you. Now, for the Muslims in the crowd, not to exclude others, but there is a dynamic because of 9/11 to make us fearful and sit in our rooms not to speak truth to power. It is time for you to stand up and speak truth to power. And don't allow people to make spiritual courtesy as a way to silence you from actually speaking what needs to be spoken and standing for justice that is need to be stood with in solidarity with others. That is a commitment that we need to undertake, as well as other communities in solidarity with the Muslim community. History is made by people who spoke. We don't read in history about somebody that for 60 years didn't say a word. We hear about people that stood, one individuals against a mighty world. We hear of Moses speaking against the Pharaoh. We speak of Jesus speaking against the Romans. We speak about Muhammad and all of the traditions that are there. They were one individual that spoke truth to power, and they were able to speak and change history. Don't be silent. If you're silent, you will not be able to change history. It is time for us to speak, and speak loud, and be consistent and deliberate.